Have you ever had those one-on-one meetings with your boss and they just go really well? You're jiving, he gets you, he's helping you, and everything is just like, man, this was a really great one-on-one conversation. I'm really glad this guy is my manager. Now, those conversations maybe not all the time, and maybe you don't have a manager like that. But maybe, hopefully, you've had one person in your life that you've sat down and you've got their undivided attention and you're going through and just talking about different things. It really just helps get a path, get clarity on what he needs you to do and what you need him to do. Just everything gets better when you have those really great one-on-one conversations. Let's tie that to fatherhood. So this past weekend, I went on a one-on-one trip with my son. Now, it wasn't a big trip, and I've done this many times. This isn't something new, but I want to make sure that it's in your list of things to do because it was something that he asked about maybe last Wednesday or Thursday. Like, hey, Dad, can we do X? And I was like, yeah, we could do it. So I tried to fit it in, made it fit it in, and it was nothing crazy. So he wanted to go driving range. So literally it was a $10 bucket of balls. We hit a bucket of balls together, and he just had a goofball time of, so imagine a kid 7 years old just swinging a golf club like nobody's business and just hitting the balls, just having fun. And we just had a good time doing that. And then there was 2 other fishing spots that I wanted to scope out that had been on my list, but never got a chance to check them out. One of them was a dud. The second one worked out as a really good spot. So we had the fishing poles in the back of our car, threw them in the water, didn't catch any fish, but it was a good maybe 30 minutes of just hanging out with each other. Then we went to Quick Trip, grabbed some slushies, and headed home. That was maybe about 3 hours of time, but to him, it was everything. Because what you don't realize, and if you've never spent one-on-one time with one of your kids, it's like a different person shows up. They're not distracted. They're not competing. They're not trying to make sure everything is fair. They're not worried about being left out. They just are them. And they grow up in those moments so fast. My other daughter, my oldest daughter, her date nights that she often wants to do before Corona was a Subway. I was like, yes, we can go to Subway for dinner, just you and I. And we would talk about different things. Like, this is your opportunity to really get into their life, talk about something that's not working well, just trying to understand maybe that's going on in her life. Maybe there's an issue at school that she hasn't told you about. Maybe her behavior is kind of like red flagging different things happening. Whatever it may be, one-on-one time is a magical place to really get to know your kids and ultimately for them to get to know you. Because as dads, it's important for them to know who we are, how we think, and what we want them to go do, how we want them to be, what kind of values do we want them to have in this world. These are conversations that you can have at all different ages. These aren't just ones you do when they're young. This is something that you should be doing with your kids throughout their entire life. Doesn't matter whether they have kids and you're grandpa. Try to make time to connect one-on-one. Because as you already know, as an adult listening to this podcast as a dad, life is freaking busy. And so always operate on whether your kids are 22, 35, or 45. Life is going to be busy to them. Be the person that invites them to slow down, have a conversation, and just hear what's going on in life. This is your opportunity to really make an impact on your kid's life, to know who they are, see them for who they are, and just remind them that you love them for who they are. It's such a simple thing, and sometimes we can overlook it in such a profound way. So, find some one-on-one time. Don't worry about where to go. Remember, from the very beginning episodes of this podcast, give them the keys to the bus. Let them decide where they want to go. Now, maybe sometimes you got to juice up some ideas, but most likely they already have an idea, and it's a lot simpler than you think. And I'll be back again with you guys tomorrow.